As you may be aware, the Gambia is vulnerable to a range of natural and human-induced hazards. And since many events affect several parts of the country simultaneously, a national approach to managing the risk is appropriate and necessary.
The Gambia has been experiencing recurrent disasters, both from natural and man-made factors, for over a number of years now. The intensity and frequency of these disasters have increased progressively, leading to floods and droughts, coupled with the increasing concerns about the lives and livelihoods of communities. These disasters have attracted such a lot of attention from both the government and development partners because their recurrence and impacts are ever so magnified and increasingly pose threats to livelihoods and development, and ultimately the achievement of the country's development objectives. We are all responsible, and achieving the goals set out in the Agenda 2030 and 2063 depends on this.
Please permit me, on behalf of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Cassibro, to express my sincere gratitude to the National Disaster Management Agency and its partners for organizing this 3-day workshop on developing a national coordination framework for disaster risk management in the Gambia. I'm of the firm conviction that this workshop will be a good opportunity for all relevant stakeholders gathered here to discuss how to engage more effectively and efficiently in strengthening disaster management coordination in the Gambia.
It is important to note that we cannot continue to prioritize disaster responses more than disaster risk reduction through coherent and evidence-based preparatory measures. This said, it is my belief that the training is not only timely, but it is indeed smart and well-deserved.
The composition of the platform includes government departments, ministries and agencies, civil society organizations, education and training institutions, the Gambian media and international humanitarian agencies in the UN system, ECOWAS, World Bank, and African Development Bank.
The alignment and coordination of the various sectors, such as health, agriculture, and food security, and so on, focusing on a clear set of objectives and converging into this shared goal is absolutely crucial.
This convergence has two main objectives: to highlight ways to improve the ways stakeholders in national disaster management system engage with each other in their partnership building and share decision making, and to highlight issues and come up with recommended mechanisms and approaches for improved disaster management and response action in vulnerable communities. We hope that the forum will address these objectives by exploring 4 interrelated themes as follows: the role of actors outside of the mainstream national or international humanitarian systems, accountability to affected population, third, national disaster management system, and fourth, coordinating disaster preparedness at all levels of society in the Gambia.
This workshop is very timely to bring all actors together, trying to explain the reason why we should coordinate. 1, to do away with duplications of efforts. 2, to make sure there are overlaps that exist during interventions are mapped out, and also to identify the gaps that exist. This is crucially important, and then each and every institution now would know who is having the comparative advantage of doing what?
I think the workshop is very important and apt, as it is about strengthening the different stakeholders and partners on disaster risk reduction coordination. So it gives the opportunity for discuss on disaster risk reduction, how to make functional coordination mechanism in country, who does what, particularly when it comes to state and non-state actors. But also within state actors, there are competing interests and unclarity in terms of roles and responsibility. So the meeting offers us that opportunity to map out where the advantages are, who does what are the existing gaps, and what are the challenges, and how can we collectively address those challenges.
Disaster risk reduction, like we said, should take a paradigm shift. Disaster is a very broad area, but taking a paradigm shift means we should concentrate on risk reduction than crisis management. And the challenges that we are facing in ensuring there is this risk reduction is investment in disaster risk reduction is not a common practice, especially in the Gambia. And we should be seeing that risk reduction, so we take it as a reality and try to invest in disaster risk reduction than in response.
Over the past years, since the establishment of the national platform, the Gambia has made great achievements on the area of DRR. Most specifically, the platform has provided the opportunity for various stakeholders, including the National Disaster Management Council and the National Disaster Management Agency, to bring into focus the facts that disasters are part of our everyday existence. It also allows us the opportunity to identify and strengthen synergies that exist among stakeholders in the planning, preparation, mitigation, recovery, and rehabilitation efforts required in dealing with some of the potential hazards we are faced with.
Over the last couple of years, ECOWAS has increasingly focused its attention on disaster issues, in culminating the establishment of disaster risk reduction as an operational team. This has mainly been driven by efforts to fulfill its peace and security mandate, including the management of humanitarian outcomes of conflict. Articles 22 and 29 of the revised Treaty of ECOWAS underscores the relevance of strengthening existing institutions to manage natural calamities, provide food aid in the event of serious food shortages, and to establish early warning systems.
I would like to state that the government of the Gambia and the people of the Gambia have indeed recognized and appreciated the various technical and financial support rendered by ECOWAS, the World Bank, and other players like the EU to the Gambia since the establishment of the platform for disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. Let me express the political will of the government under the leadership of His Excellency President Ndma to support the national platform and the National Disaster Management Agency, in particular to achieve the agenda on disaster risk reduction in line with the national, regional, and international frameworks.